Good morning, campers. So it's turned out to be a beautiful weekend. So plan is for this weekend to do as much prep work as I can today on the Saturday, and tomorrow do all of the spraying primer. So I'll give you a little update, a little show of what ended up happening with this side of the van. Turned out really nice in the end. So that's not had a second coat on it. I've literally just blocked that down, and that is absolutely lovely. That's come out really nice. That stuff is very forgiving. So, being as though that side of the van is nearing completion, and that side I've already made a start on. I've got a bit of primer to do over that area there and the sill, but I've already done quite a lot of prep there. This is already done. The door's done. It's only that area. That glass needs to come out, and all of the behind it needs sorting out because it's loose. The roof isn't too bad. There are a few rust patches. We'll just need a bit of a light rubbing down. Of course, the whole roof will need doing. My next major thing now is the windscreen, which is horrendous. So considering that this is the worst area of the van, I'm going to turn my attention to this. It's a bit of a bold move, but I'm going for getting the glass out by myself today. I don't know how this is going to go. Obviously I don't need to get out in one piece because it's getting replaced because it's already broken anyway. It's going to be a lot easier if I can get out in one piece, because it means then I can sort of temporarily set it back in again should I need to, which I think could be good, because it is going to be probably, you know, a couple of weeks before it actually properly gets sprayed up. Alright, let's crack on. Side note, whilst we're looking at this area, is obviously this is your water drainage thing, which I've got the drainage hoses for to drain the water off down over the wing. But what's the point in having that if you've just literally got this open area for water to come down here and here on both sides? So what I'm thinking about doing is just blocking this off. So basically, like the end of a piece of guttering pipe, you'd have an end cap. I'm going to build that up there and join that there and get rid of that really daft design. What's the point in having a scuttle tray and a water drainage if you haven't got an end cap on your guttering? You wouldn't do that, would you, on the end of your house? So I'm going to do that. Now, I definitely learnt a few tricks from doing the taking the glass out of the tailgate. And so what I'm going to do this time when it comes to getting this windscreen out, never took a windscreen out before, I'm going to go for just pulling the seal out straight away. I'm just going to get my terminal under there and pull this seal out, get this all out, and that creates a hell of a lot of space then behind it to start getting the wiring. This time I know to go straight for a bike brake cable, not piss about with a bit of electrical wire. Two-second job. That's going to be the easiest thing about today, isn't it? So look at this. Now, since doing the tailgate, bought myself one of these. I used to have one of these a long time ago on a wire, but I've got the DeWalt one now, the battery one. It's the reciprocating cutter, but it actually comes with this blade attachment that's pretty sharp. I'm going to give this a go, because instead of messing about with a Stanley knife trying to cut through the silicone, oh yeah, give this a try. Try the other attachment, see if it's any faster. Try that one with the teeth. So the multi-tool with the sharp bladed attachment definitely seems the way to go, because it's also got that angle in it there as well, which means this knuckle doesn't hit the windscreen, so you can get it flat against the glass and you're sort of like away from the bodywork. I mean, it doesn't matter if I mark the bodywork, it's all getting ground out anyway. Well, that appears to have made really short work of getting the top section cut out, but I can't get the blade in because of its length to the side, so I'll see if maybe I can get from the outside. Found a different blade. It's longer and it's really ruggedy. and it's going through it like soft cheese. That's been dead easy so far. I've only had to grunt about 3 or 4 times. But I'm going to get the bottom bit done now. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I've had to cut the gear cable off my old racing bike because I didn't have any spare. So I've literally just passed that through. Start cheese wiring through the rest of it now. Really struggling with getting the bottom of the windscreen out, so what I'm going to do is make some changes to a Stanley blade. I've got a brand new Stanley blade and put a 3rd cut in it so that it sits in my handle sticking further out. Then what I'm going to do, I've drawn a line directly from that to there. I'm going to heat it up with a blow lamp, and I'm going to see if I can put maybe like a 45-degree bend in it. Oh, you absolute fuck's sake! Oh. I don't know if it's going to take much. Just that it's only very thin. Warm it up a bit. Try bending a Stanley blade without heating it, they just snap. They're very brittle. There we go, that's done it. That's warm. That's what it looks like in the handle. What's that? Let's see if it'll go under there now. It's probably just going to snap straight away. Oh! That's a promising start from there. Progress, and I found a way how you can do this when you've got no friends like me. So what I found works is using my modified Stanley blade to score the adhesive as much as you can. Get your brake cable, hook it over once you've taken your windscreen wiper arms off, hook it over your arm, that part that comes out there, like that. Screwdriver, in this case a broken one, hook it through, put it back towards you. Yes! I think I cracked it. Pun intended. So this isn't as looking as bad as I suspected it might be. So I don't think I'm going to have any welding to do here. I've already just gone round with the Stanley knife and just cut out as much as the adhesive as I can do before I start taking some power tools to it. But this, I know some of this is not just surface rust and it's going to be a little bit deep in places, but I think I might get away without actually having to weld in new stuff. I'm going to see what it's like once I start grinding this back. But I'm going to start cleaning all of this back now with the flap disc and the finger sander and some sandpaper, and let's see how good we can get this looking. So it looks like I've discovered why there's an issue with these roofs. Look at the way that VW line up the seam sealer with the seam. So that's where the two pieces of metal obviously come together and overlap. Look how off center the seam is to the actual where it needs to be. It's a good 8mm over to the side, so the actual seam sealer was, I mean, I've ground slightly back because it had a bit of rust underneath it, but the actual seam only came to about there, just over the seam. So all that just needs to lift ever so slightly, and water gets in underneath and it goes under there then, and then it's under your glass. And it's the same with the other side. Because that's what it was like before. So there's the edge of your seam, and that's your seam. That there should be there. Bloody hell, VW, what were you thinking when you did that? So I've spent all day literally just cleaning this area up. I'm absolutely exhausted. It's now about 9 o'clock at night. It took about an hour and a half to get the glass out, and then I've spent all afternoon on just grinding out all of this area, trying to get it as good as I possibly can. All in all, it's not too bad. The annoying thing is there is beyond surface rust on probably about 60% of the area, which would mean basically having to cut all of this out. I'd have to cut all that out. I'd have to cut all the sides off. There would be hardly anything left of it if I was to go down that route. So what I'm going to do is get a coat of the Built Hamburg rust converter and barrier on it, put the van away for the night, come back to it in the morning, do a bit more grinding and sanding and whatnot, put another coat of the barrier on it, let that dry, and then get a couple coats of the 2K on it, and just hope for the best. Following day, so it's had overnight to dry. It doesn't take that long, it doesn't need an overnight really. Sometimes it depends on the weather temperature. If it's really, really warm, this will be dry in sort of like 30 minutes. But I've left it overnight, and that's how it's turned out now. So much better condition coming out to this today than how we started yesterday morning. You can see like it has just got some like little bits of brown to it, so maybe a little bit of like surface rust still there. So what I'm going to do now is probably hand sand all of this back now and go a little bit beyond. I've put a couple coats now, probably about 3 or 4 coats of the rust converter and barrier on this. What this stuff does, it not only does it convert the rust, but actually leaves this kind of waxy, plasticky film. And when you feel it, you can feel it. It's unusual. It's good though, but it is pretty thick. So it actually does leave a bit of a lip there. You can feel as as your finger raises up onto it. So it does leave like a bit of a film on it. If the rust can't breathe, it can't breed. So what my idea is, I'm gonna, I've took the seals off both sides of the doors, like the rain channel, the water guttering kind of thing that's on the inside there. This one needs cleaning up still. I'm gonna mask back to the where the weather seal overlaps, mask back this way, and then I'll prime right over this entire A pillar, and then probably about to back there, and then feather it in, sand that, and all blend in then with a nice couple coats of the 2K primer on top, which will enable me to leave all of this on without having to sand it back, because if you start sanding it you break through the barrier, so I don't want to be doing that. So what I'm going to do is the whole scuttle tray. So obviously this needs painting anyway, so I may as well prime this whole thing. So what I'm going to do is tiger up these areas. Now this stuff, because it's very thin, when you brush it on, I've put it on nice and sort of a heavy coat, so it's all run in underneath, and you can see how it's bridging these overlaps between here. So this is all sort of sealed up now, and then what I'm going to do is masking tape down this line, but bring it over this way a couple of mil like it should always have been, and tiger up the side of here to about back there, a couple inches, and then sort out this so that the seal continues back to here like it would have been originally.